Hi Jetna,
Hi, Pious. Good morning.
good morning to you too.
I am feeling very energized by the chanting we just did.
Yeah, I feel good. I feel good whenever I do Om chants. Like there's something that changes inside me.
What changes?
There's a there's so what I do is I take one or two deep breaths before doing any chanting. Then I take then I did three Om chanting, and then I just experience how I feel afterwards. And there's a relaxation that happens in that whole process, uh, and I get present to I get some sort of present to how I am right now. Like I feel it puts me back inside my body in some way. I exist over here rather
From?
than in the future with some ideas of like before this I was thinking about
Something.
coffee. I was thinking about, oh, how is it impacting me right now? Then I was thinking about pasta and whether I should make spaghetti right now. So I was in all of those places before, like while I was sitting here, before were doing those Om chanting, these things were in my mind. So I was in in the pasta and the coffee, and then after the Om chants, I'm present over here. I can feel my own body in a sense
I like how
also.
you said I was in the pasta, in the coffee. Like when it's such a strange, excuse me, it's such a, it's in that strange to say it like that, but it's also true. Like I want to open a topic, which is why I'm bringing it up like this. How
Uh,
can you be in the pasta? How can you be in the coffee?
because why I said it like that is that I know that there is a now that exists also a bit. I know what it is to feel, be inside my body for some amount of time at a for a period of time. So I know that this is it's like after you do a 5 4 3 2 1 where you
The
uh,
awareness exercise.
awareness exercise of what you're seeing, smelling, feeling, touching, tasting. Then you're more in yourself right now, and you don't realize, or I never realized that before, that you're actually, I'm in other places altogether, living other worlds, having an imagined conversation with a person,
Yeah.
defending
Yeah.
myself and my actions against people that don't exist.
Yeah. So if we were to say that it is all energy,
Huh.
then it's, imagine a person who has nunchucks or a kite. Let's imagine a kite. I think that's a better example. The kite itself is really far away from this person,
Hmm.
but there is something that they can manipulate, and as skilled they are, that is how well they will manipulate the kite with, which is the thread,
Hmm.
the door. Door also sounds like a darwaza door, but uh, it's that you maneuver that kite with this door, with this thread. And it's almost like that. If everything is energy, and you said I was in the coffee, I was in the pasta, I'm not trying to like fixate on that. What I'm trying to say is that if we just take those examples and talk about that, because that's how we always are. I was in the football, I was in the thought. We get lost into something.
Yeah.
It is, we say my attention is bad, or I'm not able to focus on things, But the reality is that if anything is coming in your experience, it is because of focus. Which means you are not bad at focus. You're bad at being the person who decides where the focus goes.
Yeah.
And you're maybe bad at keeping it in one place.
And you're
Like
unhappy with
another,
where it ends up often.
yes, but also distracting. Like a shinier thing can take your focus away. You don't have the stability in focus. But still, if you're experiencing anything, it is only through the focus of your being. So you can never not have focus. So this focus of your being that was in coffee, the focus of your being that was in pasta, which is in different activities or thoughts at different times of the game, if you have a way to maneuver that focus, i.e. your awareness, focus of awareness, i.e. the kite, with something like a thread, now wouldn't that upskill your life?
Yeah.
And that's possible through breath work, for sure, through lots of ways, but breath work is what comes to my mind right now. Do you want to say anything about breath work? I'm really letting this one just flow. This one is more of a rarer form of conversation that even you and I have.
Breathwork it's a superpower that people don't know about, when I actually learned that there's a link, when I experienced a link between taking maybe even 10 intentional breaths and that my thoughts would change. And I experienced that, not new in theory that okay, doing alternate nostril breathing leads to this result and therefore doing it, and then not even seeing whether that result comes or not, but experiencing the before small action and after. That was very powerful, to know that the quality of thoughts that come in your mind seem to be linked to the breath.
Well, they're both related, any which way.
And then there's some really powerful experiences I've had with doing intense breathing. Intense breathing, then there's an openness of the mind and the openness of the just relaxation into the world. The world seems brighter and alive with like a half an hour of deep breathing. My God, electricity you feel on my face. I feel it on my face, in my nose. I feel this
aliveness,
just aliveness. I
presence.
don't know how else to say it. Tingliness is there.
Yeah. That's at the level of the body. And when you expand your breath work, you definitely realize that there is more to you than just this body that you can experience. I don't know how much we're pushing it. I'm just literally saying one word at a time and seeing what's coming out. There's more awareness, as in a larger area of awareness.
When you're breathing, when you're intentionally breathing.
When you have intentionally done breath work for a period of time, your scope of awareness increases. I like that phrase, scope of awareness.
Yeah.
Your ability to know in a situation increases.
Yeah. One of the most...
What are your knowabilities in this scene?
Yeah.
If I have a flashlight in a dark room, then my knowability at a moment in time in that room is the circumference of the flashlight. Now I have a bigger, stronger flashlight
Yeah.
with breath work.
Yeah.
That is what I mean by scope of awareness.
And breath work is, yeah, I get what you're saying. And breath work is, it is even simply just being aware of that a breath is happening. Like there's no, I don't even think there's a need to do any practice. Like the simple, this like the like yoga, any sort of like yoga breathing, intentional breathing where you do
Pranayam,
any pranayam,
any type of breath work.
just the simple, not the simple, it's not a simple thing, but focusing that a breath is happening and what is linked to it is very powerful. I'm not able to get to the what is linked to it. I don't have access to that, but totally the idea of like breathing to me, or taking intentional breathing, is very linked to resting to me. Like it is the first thing that I do if I'm relaxing my body and I realize my body is tense a lot for no reason at all. It is just tense in a
Habitually
situation.
tense.
Habitually
Don't say
tense.
it's for no reason at all.
Absolutely not reason. No, there is absolutely a reason why it is there. But apparently, like right
To
now,
you,
even
what is the most normal scenario? You'll realize that there is some more tension you can give up.
yeah, like
How
right
strange.
now, I experienced tension. Like I relaxed my facial muscles, my shoulder muscles were all tense.
You just
And
exhale into them,
yeah,
and then you find that, wow, I was able to release something. So
yeah,
I thought everything was fine. So, but I
yeah,
still left something.
yeah.
There's always that.
And it's a constant thing. The tenseness that appears, I only know this from my own experience, obviously, but it appears in my body based on if I'm watching a show, there'll be something that will happen and there'll be tenseness. And it's not a, oh my God, it's a scary scene for that. It is because some nature of conversation is possibly happening and I see then, oh, I'm tensing my neck. Oh, my hand is clenched. Oh, why is my leg, like why am I tapping my leg suddenly? Like these things that were happening for probably a lot of my adult life that I wasn't aware of how much tenseness just builds in the body automatically that can be released. Um, and the
So,
breath has turned out to be my link to
so
just
what you
relaxing my
have now
body.
done in your description, guys, is you've talked about breath work, and then you've talked about the long-term benefits of doing breath work. There is an in-between that we also must talk about, because this ability to know with such sehajta, with such ease, that oh, my neck muscles are even tensed, is also coming to you because of the amount of breath work you've practiced.
Yeah.
So when we just simply say breath work and then simply also give the results of breath work that you're experiencing at your stage, or I may then start talking about what I'm experiencing at my stage, then people don't experience it in 2-3 days, then it seems like we're talking about different things, but we're not. We're definitely talking about continued practice of breath work, which gives amazing results, like some of which like this. So maybe maybe what you're saying sounds like you're talking about realizing that your body was in tension, but I'm saying that in itself is a benefit, because you weren't even aware of that.
Yeah.
So you used to complain about back pain since college days. I remember I learned to do Reiki to help you with your back pain. Early days of us getting, like me liking you. Time. Anyway, separate topic. But now at an older age, you don't have back pain of that nature, or can I say you don't? You talk about back pain.
Yeah. No, I have it occasionally, but
okay. Thank you, Didi.
Thank you, Didi.
Bye.
I still occasionally get it, but it isn't. It's a tenth of what I used
A
to get.
tenth. And this we're talking about early 20s, and now you're mid 30s.
Yeah,
So that, I'm not saying that's just breath work, that's
that's
also
not.
asana practice.
It's a lot of things. Yeah,
It's the right knowledge, knowing what not to do to give yourself the pain. But there's also an angle of breath work
definitely. And yeah, that some parts
that
of this are
helps you
long term.
maintain it.
Yeah, some things are long. Some things are long term about this, but the I feel that there's direct benefit that you do by just doing a few deep breaths. Also, there's an immediate change. Now,
Yes,
the
yes.
access to, and this is what I did not have before, is the access to experience the before and after, and actually keep my mind on the feeling in my body for long enough to experience that.
You
That is
do.
a
And
long term
then,
practice
and
thing.
most importantly, your ability to remember that, oh, this is a time when I could do take those 3 breaths.
Yeah,
So that,
access to that is what you
so
were talking about, right?
yeah, if it doesn't matter if I have a solution if I don't have the key of the door in which behind which the solution lives. Like, there is a thing I used to when I was little, I had heard from somebody that when I was little, things were very black and white to me. Ram is good, Ravan is bad, just as simple as that. So, but I heard that just as at the moment of dying, he recognized Ram's superior Lord divineness, and he surrendered to Ram's divineness, and that's why he was given moksha or whatever. Good things happened to him after that. That was the understanding I had, and I was like, okay, so it's just that you can do whatever. This is a very young mind, very rebellious young mind, always trying to figure out life and what are the mechanics of this life that I'm suddenly introduced to. So I was like, okay, so you can do whatever you feel like, because everybody's trying to teach you religion at the time you want to understand what's going on. Just as far as at just before dying you remember God. And I was like, that's easy. Then I heard somewhere else that as an adult, more recently in this part of the journey, that people who die, the reason to practice the God's name is because if you've not done something, if you've not practiced something your whole life, it's not going to occur to you to practice it at the time of dying. You are most likely in a situation of such panic, in a situation of such newness, right? Because you're living every moment, you're going to die one moment. So whatever that moment is going to be new to you, at least in this life's experience, as far as this life's experience goes. How are you going to remember to do something new? तुमने आज तक वो काम नहीं किया, आज तुम कैसे वो काम करोगे?
Yeah.
So just like that, if you're not going to say that I'm going to sit down right now and focus on my breath, then why will you focus on your breath when you're really stressed?
Yeah.
And yeah, that is what I was trying to establish by saying that there is a real benefit of the. I have been trying to understand breath for over 10 years. No, more than that. The first time I did headspace, actually since childhood, but definitely I'll be able to find, but at least 10 years plus, maybe 2012, so more than that. I would say 80% of that time I did not know anything. I still don't know anything, but 80% of that time that I have spent wanting to understand breath more, now I am saying I was in complete dark about where I was looking. It doesn't have to take that much time. For me, a lot of my time was unguided by any format. It was self work, so it took longer maybe, but I can say after, chalo, forget that metric, I can say after 2+ years of doing yoga, I could finally say that I can observe my breath without changing it. it's intricate work. And that's what I'm saying right now. I don't know 5 steps aage jaake what will I say about my experiences that I'm having right now. And I want to there's so much simple stuff that you can begin with. You don't have to, and that is a good part. That's the part I think that you were trying to focus on, that it's not hard. To bring this into your life is not hard, it's not difficult. Just sit down right now and breathe.
Yeah.
You talk about that.
It seems, in my experience, that the only thing that has brought me, no, the main thing that has brought me to a sense of calmness is practicing anything right now, and like practicing taking one deep breath right now or relaxing right now. And that practice over time, it's like not a thing that the sense of calmness that I feel right now is not a graph that I intentionally built up. It is by practicing a few moments of awareness every day, then naturally I started finding more moments of awareness, taking a few deep breaths, more of it, and then it naturally comes. And then it reaches a point where sometimes when I'm in a state of distress, where I'm either sad or angry or crying, then I will be able to, at that moment, also get access to this. And I will be like gain that sense of calmness there. So that practice of, if someone is hearing this at this moment, then say that, okay, it's not something later I will try out. At this moment, I will pause, take a deep breath, relax my shoulders, relax my face, relax my arms, and take one single breath. This practice then is the first step on to anything after that.
Yeah.
And I kind of got this a lot from you. Like, you very often, when I've tried to rationalize something or talk, say I will start something later, you've always said, no, that's, do it, you can do it now. How about doing it now? That is actually the first step in which you will be able to do anything. You've talked to me about this idea a lot also. So
I'm extremely lazy as a human being. I have gone through a lot of tussle. I was stretching. I've gone through a lot of tussle with me calling myself lazy, and I have a very happy relationship with me calling myself lazy. What I mean by that is that this body that I have is not very excited about doing physical things, and also this mind that I have has a higher tendency to do lesser than more. It's just like that. There's tons of conditioning woven into. There's a lot. It can go, and at will and at need, it goes also sometimes. I keep reserve. Anyway, that's a separate topic also. So, because I gamify, I have come up with a system of, I really believe in the concept of totems. We've talked about totems so much.
And a totem is?
I don't know what a totem is. Abhi uska baat nahi ho sakta.
Achha.
So, but totems, this is a totem. This is an example of a totem. What is a totem? Ka definition, I don't know. That will emerge.
Array, to you, what is it?
No, I don't know. This is a totem. If you're wanting to if you're wanting to send your future self a message, ki I am a person who does this. I am a person who does breath work. I am a person who, whatever it is that you want to do, it is important that right now, for me, for somebody like me, I have realized it is important that I give myself a symbolic gesture or a physical gesture. So I try to keep it less physical. If I keep it physical also, I keep it natural, because then that naturally decomposes and it's not one more thing that I need to take care of. But there are physical objects and then they are just there, and I will figure out eventually a way to close my energy exchange with them over time, maybe. But I generally try to make it an action. It's a message to my future self, so to speak. It's a different form of communication. You can communicate with yourself through things that you do in the now, which is why we keep talking about the power of now, as in not, yeah, I'm sure that's what Eckhart Tolle is talking about when he talks about the power of now. I've not read the book, but I follow him on Instagram and I've seen what he says and I've seen a few videos. So yes, that there is only power in the now. You are in the now. And this to me brings back that conversation that we were starting this with, that you were in the pasta, you were in the coffee, right? But your power in the now let's open this a bit. As if we're opening layers of onions a bit. We don't have to, but we will. Why we don't have to? Because it is eventually logical and there isn't much to be gained by just looking at something logically if you're not going to go back and look at, is this true for me within me? But outside of that, let's look at it logically between you and me. Your power of now, and we're talking about you being in the coffee. Whichever moment you were in, if you're thinking about coffee, there's a lot you can gain there also. You can think about coffee in some way, in some new way, or you can gain joy out of some memory of coffee. You can gain something out of it, or you can lose something in that. You can, if you're just worried, your time is still going, right? That moment when you're lost in thought is still a moment gone for you. That moment that you're in your now fully present is also a moment gone for you. So it's not about, oh, you can never think. That comes to be, for me, I have discovered, I don't know what anybody else will say about this, thought is not a problem. Your relationship to those thoughts and what feedback loop you're keeping yourself in with those thoughts. Are you pivoting? Are you not pivoting? Are you moving ahead in life because of those thoughts? Are you having it out of the curiosity of wanting to use a mind that is available to you? Those are different things. Or is it just like playing in background and you're like, अच्छा मैं भी वही गाना गुनगुना रही हूँ, वो भी होता है हम लोग के साथ, which is fine also. But are you in some loop? So there are different relationships to be had. Where were we? Totem. So you can use your coffee thought to plant a totem about coffee, and that moment, that power of now is that you've used that power of now being in, even if you're here, but you are here and you are thinking about coffee. You've split your energy because you're not thinking about coffee and energizing that thought in any powerful way and sending a message to any, you're not creating anything or destroying anything. You're not even completing. Yourself. You're maybe thinking about coffee right now because of some issue you have with the topic of coffee. So if nothing, so now let's tie all of it back together and talk about breath also. So if you feel that you're having constant thoughts about something, if you bring into practice this small thing of just exhaling out, without really trying to change the thought, without really trying to complain that you're having this thought, without really trying to say that, oh, let me exhale so that I don't have this thought another time, because now that's a thought you're having about the thought.
No commentary about it.
Just see that you're having a thought, roll your eyes if you want to, but nothing that you really register. Do whatever you must do to react to this thought that you don't want. but you mustn't really like do anything to now create a new impression about it. And then just exhale.
Yeah.
Fully exhale.
Yeah.
Not exhale. Fully exhale. That's what a sigh is, right?
Yeah.
Like when you don't fully exhale, your body will sigh because it needs to fully exhale once in a while.
Yeah.
So you do it, and you see over time, you can practice and experiment. Take one topic, and just with that one topic, and take an easy topic. Don't take the hardest topic of your life, because then you will invariably fail and then say it didn't work. So take an easy topic, very easy topic, that it's just something, it's bothersome, but it's not like a emotional issue for you. And then just breathe out.
Small bother.
Every time anything comes up about it, see how it changes. And that doesn't mean you just do that, like you have to take an action in the world and then you just go. No, if you have to take an action in the world, then you then breathe out, and then with a fresh, maybe chant an Om, and then with a fresh mind, see what you want to do about it. Do something about it. Go whatever you must, whatever least you must, and see what happens over time. Give it some break. Don't do anything about it for a short amount of time, so that it has some time to reset. And see, these are some, this is like where you can use your breath with other ideas.
And that's what you said is a very, very powerful thing. Just the act of exhaling is a
it's an act of surrender. Like, okay, fine. But humans are scared of exhaling, right? Because you've taken the first free inhalation, which started the cycle. I'm talking about the one that you took at birth.
Yeah.
And then everybody needed you to, and then you started crying. So you did inhale. You didn't have to. You did. Well, you know, okay, we won't get into that. But you did. So it's like a loan you took. Now you have to give it back. So you have to exhale fully. Right? When you die, you will exhale fully. That is not going to be in your hands. You are going to exhale fully when you die. Why don't you exhale fully regularly? Now, see what happens. You will live very well.
Awesome. I think good place to exhale this podcast. No, just deep breath out,
no,
and then it ends.
I want to say no. Om. We started with Om.
But that wasn't on the voice.
But we started talking about Om.
Yeah.
And it's like Om is also like that. Like you do what you need to do when you're doing Ah. You do what you need to do when you're doing Ooh. You do what you need to do when you're doing But then the only way you can do that again is if you actually fully exhale. And then allow a new breath to come in.
Yeah, and that I think I see Om being so powerful as a thing to do also, like, I don't know, I'm not going to talk about the science of it, but just that it is the science of Aum, but just that it is a very long exhale that leaves your body.
Yeah,
and that physical action of that happening has so much power in it, right? You get you kind of distract yourself with making of the sound of but an exhale is happening in that whole duration, right? And you end up taking a very long exhalation then.
That is happening. And that is happening. You get used to, and like that becomes a practice, a riyaz, a sadhana, to learn how to take longer breaths. Because then the longer you will exhale, you said it distracts. I didn't like the word then, but I'm saying if your purpose was to elongate your exhalation, it's a good distraction from that perspective to elongate it without having nothing to do. Because we also chant Om without any sound. And at that time, it's almost like you have nothing to do, but you're doing it. Because you're not even, your distraction is at a subtler level. And at that time, focusing becomes a little harder than we are doing it with sound. So that makes sense.
I like that.
Yeah, so Om is really nice to chant or to listen to. It's not a religious thing, I feel, at all. There's some scientific study I haven't read too much, so please don't say, oh, you're saying this. I'm not saying it. It has come up. There's some scientific study where there's some link to the 786 and Om symbolically and something. There is, in my experiments, I have seen a lot of times, like a lot of mantra chanting, and then how that feels as a breath within you, and then Om chanting. And it's not just, I'm not just saying Hindu mantras, any mantras, it feels similar. So it's not it's not really, don't think, oh, you don't have to think of the symbol and assign it to anything. Just practice it, see how you feel.
No, and it's not also, right? It's connected to Amin, and it's connected to Amen. It's connected to what else is it connected? So it's connected through all these different. It's like a sound that is
a universal sound.
The universal sound that has just come into.
It has been recorded as the sound, of course. Again, I don't know.
Yeah,
I am not.
And then also, Om is the derivative. No, is the root of omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipresent, omniscient, and a third word that is used to describe God in the English language.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's not. It's ever present everywhere.
Very, like when you say it more and more, you'll just feel like you yourself feel very whole when you say Om. So I'm very, I will practice it and then I will say, and I don't need a logical reason then once it convinces my inner being type person. So when you practice it long enough, it becomes like that.
Yeah.
You don't have this. Even Ekunkar is Om.
Yeah.
Ek Omkar. That's another. So it's a cross. And that day outside of Jama Masjid, on the road, I found, right after we came out of that beautiful shop on your birthday, I found an Ekunkar on the road lying just on a busy Jama Masjid street. I had no business to be looking down right at that point where it was. I just picked it up. It was probably there for so long, it's so muddy, I've been cleaning it. That's Om. And then right after that we went inside the masjid, and that sound was also that, I don't know what they call it, it's not ardas, those 5 times a day, the prayers, that also sounded
actually, that makes, it's in Hinduism, it is popularized, but it is a Buddhist thing also. It's in Jainism also, and it's there in Sikhism also.
I grew up in a Jain family.
And then the derivatives are in Christianity and Islam also.
No, I think the Om Navkar mantra is Om Namo Namaha. It's there. Okay, I guess it's there across. Anyway, that's not the point. Check it out. Check it. Om out. Om Bhaiya was the guy who used to do my recharges when I was a kid in Calcutta.
So that also.
Check him out. Okay,
bye. Thank you. No, we have to do the exhalation. Are we doing the Om chant? No, let's exhale.
Wait.
Just one exhale and then I'll end.